Illinois fans love to remember the last time they welcomed the Nebraska Cornhuskers to Memorial Stadium back in 2015. The Fighting Illini came away with a victory in that one as we welcome in their head coach, Lovie Smith, as the Illini get ready to square off with the Cornhuskers for a Friday night game at 8 Eastern. And, Coach, what was the biggest area of emphasis for your team leading into this game against Nebraska?
Well, from our last game, it was about, making some necessary improvements. We didn't play our best football last time, so had a chance to go back and, do some training camp type practices to clean up some things to, as you mentioned, get ready for a good Nebraska team. We had success last time we were here. We'd like to have that happen again.
And what did you see on the film as you reflected back on that first loss of the season?
So I talk about, most of the time I think you can look back to some of the basic fundamentals that you don't do well. Defensively, we didn't tackle well, simple as that. Offensive side of the football, we need to block a lot better. So some of those basic things that you need to do to win games.
And 31 penalties, Coach. How did you address those with your young guys?
I mean, it's just a base part of how we played that night. The discipline wasn't there, whether it's committing penalties or just doing what we're supposed to do. We haven't, that wasn't a typical game for us, though. We haven't had that many penalties, so we think it's a one-game thing.
And how would you say that your youth has handled the first sense of adversity this season to date?
Well, we're anxious to play this game. It's the first time we've really gone through it. Now, during the course of a game, I know the first game we were behind and we had to fight through some things, but you need to get in a position like this to see how you respond. I think we'll respond the right way.
And if your team wants to respond in the right way against Nebraska, what specifically needs to go well to have a shot against the Cornhuskers?
Well, Nebraska last week on the offensive side of the football got their running game going. And whenever you can run the football like that, it's hard to win games. Defensive side of the football, there was a typical, black shirt type performance, stopping the run and not letting Rutgers really get anything going. So we need to do what we did well the first couple of games, and we should be okay.
What's the excitement level around the locker room as they head into a big Friday night game on national television? What's the excitement level there?
I think there's something that goes along with playing at night and when you're one of the few games on. So we're looking forward to that. Memorial Stadium, just champagne at night, Friday night. It's a pretty special time. We know our fans are going to be really into it, and we need to give them something to cheer about early and often.
And Lovie, something you've been cheering about early and often has been this young group that you finally have had your first full 4 weeks of exposure in the season. What's been the best, most rewarding part about having this group of young guys to completely mold from the ground up?
Well, just that. We had a starting spot. We knew we would be a young football team, and we wanted to see them just make daily improvements. Each week there's a learning experience for them, but they're handling it well. And we don't really talk an awful lot about it being a young player now, but there's about 12 or 13 young players that are, going to get their first taste of Big Ten football, and you have to be just pumped up for them, and I know they are.
So awesome. As we switch gears for just a moment, Lovie, there were some comments made earlier this week from other head coaches that the visiting locker rooms are not up to par. You've coached in the NFL for extensive years as well as the college level. Have you noticed some of the similar things as far as the visiting locker rooms go?
I think it's probably common knowledge that you probably don't put your visitors in the best frame of mind, locker room-wise. Through my time in sports, that's been the case. I've been through the Big Ten one time, and we were putting more emphasis on trying to win games during the game than what was going on after it. But I'm sure if people are complaining about that, it's legitimate. We're complaining about a few other things and us playing better football right now.
Do you think that does play a part in as far as being an advantage, being the away team as far as your conditions go?
It should. You should have a home field advantage. So I understand that. And that's how it is every place. All home teams have an advantage, and that's how it should be.
Additionally, Lovie, would love to pick your brain on this. Given the current political situation of our nation, in your press conference, you alluded to it on Monday, but the NFL has taken a clear stance of the players there, and I imagine these young guys are looking to you for guidance and advice. What's your message to unify your group of football players during this trivial time?
Well, I think we are unified. It's a little different, I think, being on a college campus as opposed to an NFL campus. I mean, that's what we do. We educate our young men each day. We tell them to be educated, to take a stand on what's going on in their community, in their country, to have an opinion and to voice it, and we all have rights. And if you're a law-abiding citizen, we're all in favor of it. That's what we've asked our guys to do. Going all the way back to the election, we asked them to vote, to let your voice be known. Nothing is going to change based on what happened this weekend. That's the way we've always done it.
That is awesome stuff. Lovie, thank you so much for the time, and best of luck to you and your team as you face off against the Cornhuskers Friday night.
Thank you.